Hey, welcome to Your Two Cents, the podcast, produced by Canadian Content Studios in partnership with credit unions. I'm Jonathan Torrens. My wife and I often talk about the miscellaneous column in life and how sneaky expensive it is. Paper towel, batteries, windshield washer fluid. You pop into Shoppers for one thing and suddenly $85 later you're leaving. Things you don't necessarily think about when making a weekly grocery list, but man, they add up. Now, with food costs at an all time high, more than ever, every penny counts. Luckily today, Cutie Canada is here to share some tips and tricks with Alicia and Sylvia. Here is that conversation.
This topic is very near and dear to so many people's hearts. I am, for one, a very ridiculously savvy grocery shopper. If it has a 50% off sticker on it, I'm in. I'm invested. Yes, please. All the savings specifically for groceries. I was having a conversation earlier talking about how Scott and I were at a point not too long ago where we were having to put things back at the grocery store because we couldn't afford them, and we really could have used help learning how to save while we were shopping for our groceries and nourishing our bodies. And I think this is such an important conversation.
I could not agree more. I love stretching my grocery bill. It started kind of in the same thing out of necessity and has grown into something that I just think is so important. Grocery prices have skyrocketed and food insecurity is really going up as well too. And so finding the tips and tricks on how to stretch your budget, I think is important for people of all budgets and really learning where those savings are. So we are so excited today to talk to content creator and coupon enthusiast, Nicole, aka Coupon Cutie Canada. So welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you.
We're so excited for you to be here. Okay, so this is a juicy topic. We have lots of questions for you. How did you get into couponing and how did it turn into this Instagram sensation for you?
Yeah. So, like 9 years ago, my coworker's son was couponing and he was getting so much stuff for free or just for really cheap. And I was like, I want to do that. So, I looked up everything I could find out about couponing and I just taught myself as much as I could figure out. And then I just never stopped since then. So it was so exciting. I just couldn't stop, I guess. But as for the internet and like actually sharing stuff, I've only been doing that for about 2 years. It was when TikTok all started. I saw that, there wasn't really anyone in Canada helping people with this, with their groceries. COVID kind of just started. And like, I was like, what can I do to help people save money on their grocery bills? And so I just started making TikToks and yeah, I just kept on going.
It's such a like classic way of saving money, I feel like, because people have always, seen a 2-for-1 coupon or a buy one, get one free coupon. Like, back in the day when we were growing up, you'd go through the flyers and you'd cut out coupons and it was such a physical, tactile way. But then I also feel like television really took it to the next extreme where it was like extreme couponers and these people were showing up with their binders full of coupons. It felt very, very overwhelming, not just from a how to do it standpoint, but what if I can't buy 50 boxes of Kleenex to save the money to get all the free things? So how do you actually coupon? I feel like I would love to learn how you do it.
Yeah, so that TV show is like the death of me. Like everyone's like, "Oh, you must fill carts full of cereal. You must, get a million of everything." And that's not what we're doing here. Yes, there is people who extreme coupon like that, but what I'm teaching people is how to get a few things for free, how to get cheap groceries, how to price match, how to use coupons, like little things to save money. And maybe it's not like this cart full of free stuff and it's not as exciting per se. I think it's more about helping people to actually save on their grocery bills with things they can actually do, if that makes sense.
That makes complete sense. So for somebody who's like looking to get into this all feels super overwhelming. Obviously, we have this notion of what couponing is, what this looks like. You're diluted by the TV and what that's telling you it looks like. What are your tips for somebody to get started? Like, what is your biggest tips for someone who's, I come to you, I say, I want to start couponing. Where do you lead me?
So if you wanted to start couponing, the first few things I would tell you to do is download the Flip app. this is where you can look at the flyers. You can go through all the flyers in your area and just kind of see what's on sale each week. The next thing I would do is tell you to download the PC app. There's points that you can earn from like Loblaw stores like Superstore, No Frills, and we often earn points at stores like that. So that would be the next thing I would tell you to do, start earning points. The third thing I would tell you to do is to start collecting coupons. So you would want to go to the store. They have them in the aisles by the products, and just walk around the store looking for coupons. Take a few of each, and then just kind of put them in your purse and collect, or wherever you keep your stuff, and then keep it with you. And you can also print coupons online. That's another way we get coupons. So kind of just getting familiar with things like that. I know even that you're probably like, okay, what? So even sometimes I just tell people, try to pick one thing that seems easy. Like, how about just download the Flip app and look at the flyers. Try to find something on sale and go to the store and get it. Just start there. Start easy. Whatever seems easy for you.
Is there a digital version for getting coupons? Like, I don't have a printer, and I know a lot of younger people sort of moved away from having a printer. I don't also get a lot of flyers for whatever reason in my neighborhood. So the Flip app is a really cool thing. I actually didn't know about that. So that's a really interesting thing. Is there a digital way?
So in Canada, they've started digital coupons a little bit. Not really, though. It's just kind of starting where every few months, some stores will have it where you can load it to your their app. Like, for example, Superstore will have like get $2 off this certain type of hot dog if you load the coupon and then scan it at the till. Majority of the coupons are found at the stores, or you can print them. And yeah, it's definitely dated. Definitely dated.
Is there a particular place that you kind of touch on sort of the Loblaws family, but is there another place that you like to shop that is really, really good for coupons or earning points?
So with finding coupons, you can find them usually at like Superstore, No Frills, Sobeys, Freshco sometimes has coupons. Not every store has coupons. Like Walmart usually doesn't have many, or they have just a couple. So it's kind of hard to find them there. Usually we kind of focus on printed coupons more. And again, I know it's dated because like not everyone has a printer or uses a printer, but it's the easiest way for me to give people access to a coupon that everyone can get.
Now, obviously, couponing, I mean, if we're talking the TV show, which I know, obviously, bane of your existence, we can see some pretty exciting finds, like some pretty exciting deals found. What has been the best deal that you've ever scored?
Yeah, so my favorite deal I've ever had was I had a points offer on this like point on my points app for get 60 cents back when you buy a can of beans. Okay. So I'd gone to the store, the beans were on sale for 10 cents and they had pallets of them. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I asked the manager, I'm like, can I buy a whole bunch? Like, does it matter? Is that okay? There's tons. He's like, yes, buy as many as you want. Please, there's too many. So I filled up a cart full of the beans. I went to the till. I paid $40 and I got back $200 in points. It was crazy. And then I took all the beans and I donated them into the harvest bins, which is like the donation bins.
That is wicked.
Yeah, it was so exciting.
That's amazing. As you were telling that story, I was like, I love that idea, using something that's on sale like that to then go and donate, because again, food insecurity is such a problem right now and grocery costs are so high. So non-perishables like that are a great find, and that's a win-win for you too.
Yeah, and this was a while ago that I got that deal, but like, and usually again, I don't like to fill a cart, but it was just, I asked the manager if that was okay, and I had the points offer. So I was like, I might as well just donate them all and it'll all work out, because they had just so many of them. I guess they ordered too much or something like that.
That's wonderful. It's also such a perfect segue into this next question, because I think one of the biggest things that people juggle is, how do you combat the high of something being on sale. Like there is such a thrill when you can get a good deal on something, like even seeing beans for 10 cents.
Yeah.
I think your instant reaction would be, okay, I'm going to stock up on beans. I'm going to make everything with beans. But how do you manage your emotions in those moments to make sure that you're not overbuying something or buying something that you'll truly never use just because it's on sale? Because just because it's on sale, you're still spending money.
Totally. That is a hard thing that I think as couponers, we get FOMO. We want, you see it's free or it's really cheap and you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to buy a whole bunch. I think maybe because I've been couponing a while, I still get it a little bit, but I don't as much because I know what I need and how much to buy. So I don't really overspend on that kind of stuff. But I can see why people would, like it's exciting. Like we got cereal for like 50 cents last week. And like that's such a good deal. How can you not want to just buy a whole bunch, right?
I think it's also like buying things that you don't normally buy, like which ends up not saving you money. Like if you're not a
Yeah.
cereal eater and you see cereal for super cheap, it's like, okay, well that's super cheap. Maybe I should get it, but like not I'm not a cereal eater. So I think that that's where I also get caught when it comes to like couponing or saving specifically. Now, obviously couponing and what you do is a great way to save. Now, are you into price adjustments and price matching? Is that something you also do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Price matching is one of the I think that not the easiest ways, but one of the easier things to do because at the store, most of the cashiers are familiar with it. Whereas sometimes when you use a coupon, it's not as common as price matching. So definitely all about price matching. Also, like the 50% off stickers, discounted food that's about to expire. Love it. Like all about that. So we definitely use apps and stuff for that as well. Flip is the one too that you use for price matching too that we were talking about earlier with the flyers.
Oh, interesting. So you'd go on Flip, see all of those things, then go and seek out the store you normally shop at and price match, because we keep talking about the false economy of driving across town to save 50 cents. You're
Yeah,
not really saving money. So that's how you do that. Flip is sort of your entry point. You do your scan and then
exactly. So the thing is like it's great to find something on sale, but if you're driving all the way to that one store and then everything else you buy is more expensive, what's the point? So what we try to do is we will find a store that will price match and we will go do all our price matching at that store so that you can get all the best deals in one shop. So for price matching, you would download that Flip app that I was talking about before, and you would look up the item that you want to price match. So let's say strawberries. Type in strawberries on the Flip app, see if it's on sale anywhere, and then you would go to Superstore, make sure that it's the same one in the flyer that you're looking at Superstore. And then you go to the till, you say to the cashier, hey, I have a price match. They'll say, okay, let's see. You show it to them on your phone and they're like, okay. And they type it in and adjust the price for you.
That seems far too easy.
Yeah. And I know it seems like some people will be like, I'm nervous with price matching. Honestly, don't be. The cashiers are like, yep, da 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 da, done. So they're super
they know
great
all about it.
Yeah.
The place that I love to price match is Costco because they price match against themselves. So I know I'm a very good Costco shopper in the sense that I know what I need for my household. It's again another place where it can feel really overwhelming because you think you have to buy so much of everything. You really don't have to. But as an example, I get my coffee pods, my Starbucks coffee pods for my Nespresso come from Costco. And I ran out the other day and I was disappointed because when I went to go buy them, they weren't on sale. And they are a great deal normally, but they're often on sale. But Costco does it within 30 days of buying something. They'll adjust a price for you. I guess that's price adjusting, not price match.
I was gonna say, I was like, you're blowing my mind.
So then I went through my shop and I took note. Okay, about 2 weeks later, they were $8 off, and I went back to customer service afterwards, and they can see everything. You don't even have to have your receipt because they track everything. And they went and they adjusted my coffee pods by $8, and it took 2 minutes, and they don't care either. It's so much a part of their world. And so now if I see something at Costco, sometimes those things will go away, or you just simply need something in the moment and you don't want to wait for it to go on sale. Typically, standard stuff will go on sale in that month that you bought it. So I snatch it up and I just keep an eye out for stuff I know I bought not on sale. And I'm really diligent about just as soon as I'm done going to the customer service and getting that money back.
Yeah. No, totally. At Costco too, I always watch that as well. Like you want to make sure if something goes on sale within a couple weeks that you get the adjustment, because it's always so frustrating too when you buy something and then it's on sale like a couple days later and you're like, ugh.
And a lot of more stores will do that too. Like I do find they will price adjust, but I don't find that they're as nice about it as they are there. So it's kind of nice to have that, and the 30 days is a pretty big window too.
Yeah, Costco is pretty nice. The cat, like everyone who works there is usually, at least when I've been there, they're always like so nice.
Let's face it, buying a home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. It's terrifying. But knowledge is power, right? So why not talk to someone at credit unions to find out what you could afford and get educated on all those other expenses you might not have considered. With the help of a credit union professional, you'll be hanging that home sweet home sign before you know it. Credit unions, helping Atlantic Canadians navigate mortgages even when the waters seem rough.
Do you use coupons, Nicole, for anything other than grocery shopping or any other household goods?
I would say I look for coupons or discounts on everything. Like my family always will be like, "Hey, I want to buy this. Where should I buy it or what's the best deal?" So I'm always looking up stuff. Usually like on the Flip or the price matching apps to see where it's the best deal in the flyer, or like I'll know policies places like Home Depot gives you 10% extra when you price match there if something's cheaper somewhere else. So like I want to get the price match of the price of Home Depot, plus I want that 10% off. So those are the kind of things you start to do the more you get into couponing or saving money and discounts, things like that.
That's really cool. I'm going to go off script for a second, Alicia, because I completely forgot about this thing that I just discovered recently. Is Rakuten. Do you use that?
Yes, I do. Yeah, for cashback. Rakuten is a cashback app where if you shop online, you can get like extra money back. So like, for example, if you shop at Sephora, sometimes they'll have offers where you can get an extra 5% back. So what you do is you open the Rakuten app, you go to Sephora through the app, buy all your stuff, and then they'll add the cash back into your account, usually within like 24 hours. So whatever you buy, let's say it's like they'll add $5 to your account, and then they'll either e-transfer you or send you a check in the mail.
What?
And I added the browser extension on my laptop so that when you have it on your laptop, it pops up on the sites that it knows it has cashback on and says, "Hey, activate your cashback here." So there are things that I had no idea that I could get through Rakuten, or if I'm forgetting and I'm on my laptop, because sometimes I actually prefer to online shop on my computer rather than my phone. And I have, in the last, 6 months, probably got over a couple $100 as we've been, furnishing our house and just buying like everyday things at Sephora and whatever. Alicia, I'm going to send it to you because you also get a referral bonus. We both will. So I'll just flip you my discount code for that.
So you're telling me that when I am up at 3:00 in the morning, online shopping, that I can also be saving money.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And you can, if you use her referral, you'll each get $30 off your, when Alicia makes her first purchase. So you'll get $30.
Want to go shopping?
Scott can't complain about my online shopping anymore. I'm going to be like, no, I'm getting money back.
Yes.
I'm getting paid.
Give him the check. Get the check and then give him the check so he'll feel like you paid him for your online shopping.
That's actually a really good idea. That's actually
it'll make him happy.
Nice. Yeah. No,
it's very generous of you also, Nicole. I appreciate your willpower because I don't think I have that.
I like that idea. Thank you. Nicole, we all season we're asking our guests that have been on the pod the same final questions to kind of tie things together. We're calling it a speed round, but sometimes it can get pretty lengthy, so that's okay. We're just going to go back and forth with these questions and take your time to answer them. But what is the best thing you've ever spent money on?
The best thing I've ever spent. My dogs, my cats. It's going to be them.
That's the best answer. No, That's such a good answer.
Yeah, I love we take in I knew I was going to cry at some point because I always cry with stuff like this, but I've been taking in stray cats since I was a little kid, and they like my heart. So
Oh,
yeah. So I would definitely say animals, like trying to save money on stuff for them is definitely where I will try to save. It's hard though, because they're so expensive, but we have quite a few stray cats right now, and yeah, so usually definitely saving money on them would be ideal because there's
yeah.
so many.
That's really, really sweet. I love that so much. Okay, what's the worst thing you've ever spent money on?
Um, the worst thing I've ever spent money on. I feel like I don't know. What's the worst thing I've ever spent money on? I think the worst thing would be things that I don't need that I bought because they were maybe cheap, and then if I've let them expire. And I try not to do that. Like, I know it's very wasteful and it's frustrating, but it can happen when you're a couponer. So I would say that would be my most like disappointing thing, is letting something expire and spending money on it.
I'm guilty of that too. I'm
Yeah, it's
definitely guilty
hard.
of that. Seeing
Yeah.
something on sale and then being like, "Oh, I'll get that," and then not actually using it. So I completely understand that
Yeah.
frustration.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to touch on earlier, but we got onto another topic, was if people have the opportunity and the space to invest, even just in a small deep freezer. I bought one at the very beginning of the pandemic, and I think I only paid $150 for it or something. That's how I take advantage of all my 50% off
Yeah.
stickers. And also when I see certain produce go on sale, so like peppers or spinach or stuff like that, that freezes really easily and nicely, like without having to blanch stuff, because I have no idea what that term even means or how to do it. But I can stick you in the freezer and then take you out again
Yeah.
and don't have to do anything and save money. That's a big thing for me. Like, meats always freeze so nicely. I cut up my peppers, I put them in the freezer if I buy them on sale.
Yeah.
So I try and do stuff like that with being able to have a really small freezer that's just not your main freezer, because it can obviously take up room, but it's such a great way to save. And then it prevents things from going bad on you to be able to keep them in there.
Well, yeah, and you can buy stuff that's like quick expiry and freeze it and it will stay good. Like, so that's one thing that totally I love to do as well, is be able to get that 50% off and freeze it. And then it's awesome.
It's my jam. I love it.
Have you ever lied about how much money you have?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I would think so.
Me too.
I can't think of any recent times, but definitely there's been times where I've had nothing. And like, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Every single person we have talked to has said the same thing
Yeah.
in any direction, whether they've had money or they've had times without having money.
Yeah.
It's such a sensitive thing, and we're all so similar in that, and no one's alone in those feelings, which is partly why we ask that question. It's not to make anyone feel any particular way other than not alone.
I also genuinely think it's a good question, because I think when you, like, for a lot of us, we're lying about how much money we don't have. But there's also like, it's goes the opposite end of the spectrum too. Like, there are people who are lying about how much money they do have, or they
Yes.
and it creates this, we don't think we're enough because we don't have it, when a lot of times the people that say they have those things don't have them either. And I think it's just like, that's why, obviously, I was talking to you about this earlier, Nicole, before we started recording, like, having these conversations is so important, because people genuinely are hiding from the truth when it comes to money and saving money and where we are at with money. And that stigma is what, keeps this conversation taboo and keeps a lot of people struggling and not asking for help and not doing things that could be bettering their financial situation. And yeah, when we ask I've lied both ends. I've lied when I've had nothing, and I've lied now because I just don't want the stigma that comes along with both of them. So I completely understand that.
Yeah, and it's just, people want to pretend that they have these things that they don't always have to impress people, but it's like, I do wish we would be okay with saving money. Like, I know that a lot of people are, but there's just so many people who are embarrassed by it or are made fun of because they coupon. And it's so frustrating. Like, I've heard so many stories where people are just sad and they're like, it didn't work. I couldn't do the coupons, or they made me feel dumb for using a coupon. And I'm here to be that cheerleader for people, to say, don't worry about it. Just try again. You can do this. Like, don't let them make you feel like that. go try again. And trust me, you have a whole community here of people who are happy for you. We want you to get that cereal. There's always going to be those negative people who have something to say.
Well, interestingly, you just unlocked a memory I had of someone that I will not even define a time in my life because I don't want to embarrass them. But this is a person that was in my universe at some point in time who did not come from a lot and had a partner that did and insisted that they never use coupons. And I think it was because it made her feel so terrible about herself and she wanted to feel like she didn't need them anymore. And I think you touched on something so beautiful. This isn't about needing them necessarily or whatever. It's about stretching that budget so that you can be fueling yourself and your family and having the things that, you know, can maybe take the edge off of another part of your life that you could be saving money. And so I think there's just such a stigma with how that made that person feel that they insisted that their partner not use coupons. And I will never forget that because I love a good deal. And I think it's really important to spend the money you have so wisely. So it's never meant to be shameful, but I completely hear you in that people might be made to feel that way by somebody else, which is such a shame.
For sure.
Oh yeah, I've been shamed lots of times. Like, and it's just about overcoming it because there's always going to be the negative and the positive people. Like, I've had someone just be so rude to me behind me and like just horrible. But then I've also had people who are like so excited and so happy for me, and I had gotten like stuff for free at the till and I gave them some. Like, it's all about having fun and not letting the negative people take over that experience for you. Just keep positive. I'm here to cheer you on. DM me. I forget them. I'm here. Let's do this.
I love that.
What is the best tip about money you could share with somebody?
I would say don't overspend and don't just buy things. I guess this would be more related to like couponing in MySpace, but I would say don't just buy things because they're on sale. Don't just buy things because it's cheap. Buy it if it's actually something you're going to use or something you're going to share with someone. And try not to overspend, even though I know it's hard when you see a good deal to not take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I've been guilty of buying things. I'm a big thrift shopper and I'll grab something because it's cute. Or I tried on a dress this weekend that was my color and my style ish, but I was definitely too short for it and I would have had to get it tailored.
Yeah.
But I was so infatuated with the price and the color that everything else went out the window. But I would have had to take it to a tailor and it would have probably cost me a lot of money to get altered. And for a piece that is pretty bold and I wouldn't really get to wear all that often. So I had to really calm myself down. And I said, okay, if you're thinking about this dress in 24 hours, go back and get it.
Yeah.
And I just put the brakes on. And I'm obviously talking about it, but I've stopped myself from buying it because I didn't actually need it.
Yeah, and like we kind of talked about Costco before and buying stuff in bulk. It's like, if I buy this 2-pack of mustard that's cheap, that's great and everything, but if I'm not going to use it all, what's the point? Like, you're just costing yourself that extra money for something you're going to throw out. So what's the point?
This seems like it's something that's you're super passionate about, Nicole, and something that
Yeah.
you've invested a lot of time in. How has couponing changed your life? Like, how has
Yeah.
the act of couponing changed things for you?
I would say just it's the social media side of things. My whole life I was well, not my whole life, but 9 years, which is a long time. I was couponing and, doing my thing and saving money, which made such a great impact on our financial situation. Like, it definitely helps. But I would say being able to share that with others is where it all changed. Like, just the messages you get from people is like crazy. Like, people being able to save money and just be excited about it is like, the DMs get me every time.
I think we underestimate, like I said to you earlier, is like there were times where Scott and I were putting things back at the grocery store because we couldn't
Yeah.
afford the things that were in our cart. And I could have really used somebody like you through my social media to have really helped me figure out how to, stretch my grocery budget and really find the things that were going to be on sale and make sure that we weren't going without. And I think that these types of conversations and people like you are so important because it is, again, a topic that a lot of people aren't talking about. And I'm proud of you for sharing, because I think that that's like the biggest step for a lot of people on social media, is like you're sharing something that's very vulnerable to you, but then it ends up changing other people's lives. And obviously I can tell by like how emotional that you are with your DMs and stuff, that people are listening and watching and participating. And it's exciting to kind of be able to have this conversation with you, and hopefully more people will start listening, following along, and being a part of your community. So do you want to tell people where they can find you, like where your socials?
So I'm Coupon Cutie Canada. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. So Coupon Cutie Canada.
Love it.
Yeah.
You are so wonderful. I have been following you for a long time, and I love following your content. And so we were really excited to talk to you, but you have given me the warm fuzzies. And to Alicia's point, you care so much about what you do.
Yeah,
you're giving back to your community through doing it. You're having fun. You're breaking the stigma. It's all the wonderful things that, you could hope for someone to ask. And when we reached out to you, we didn't know all those other pieces. And so we really appreciate you sharing and being so honest with us. It's been such a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Wow, thanks to Coupon Cutie Canada for sharing such solid intel. On a related note, in our house, we've started buying everything on our credit cards instead of using debit. Not only does debit have a fee, but the points add up faster on your credit card for things like small appliances and other household goods. The only thing is, and I learned this the hard way a few years ago, you have to remember to pay it off every month. Thanks for listening to Your 2 Cents, the podcast, made possible by credit unions.